Their spouses and at-risk youth. We reported on this pilot program back in February.
Yeah, and the first NPower graduates were so successful, it's now a rooted program here in San Antonio. They just started an even bigger wave of training, and it's not too late to join.
Michaela Fry has been a military spouse for over 2 decades.
My husband served 21 years. He's retired, finally retired through Air National Guard, and still works on base.
Now she's focusing on her career in tech thanks to NPower, a national nonprofit offering veterans and spouses free IT training. In February, she caught our story on KSAT about the new pilot program in San Antonio. She signed up, just graduated on Friday, and already has started an apprenticeship.
Are you earning more now than you have before?
Absolutely. There's no question.
The first 16 weeks of the program cover basic tech training, offering 4 industry certifications.
I have my CompTIA ITF. I have Google Project Management, Google Fundamentals.
Then NPower can help her earn more certifications as she progresses.
Now, a lot of these classes are virtual, but students do come here to this office off of 410 to get help with cover letter and resume writing, as well as mock interviews.
92% of the students stayed through the whole pilot program, and 1/3 of the class already has new jobs. 44% of the class were women, furthering an NPower goal.
Increasing the amount of women in tech. They represent 5% globally, and so we're looking to diversify tech, change the stereotypes.
NPower San Antonio site director Samantha Coleman says another goal is to include more at-risk youth ages 18 to 26 in their classes.
Moving people from poverty to middle class status and reaching the most vulnerable in the community.
Fry hopes anyone eligible will take advantage.
It's opened up an entire world to me that I just never thought I would be able to achieve. I thought that was for other people, and now I can.
Congratulations to her and the other graduates. If you are interested in signing up for the program, just contact NPower. We've got their information on our website. If you don't have a laptop or Wi-Fi hotspot, that doesn't have to hold you back. The organization can provide them for you.
Happening around America, 2 pilots forced to eject from a fighter jet in Michigan this afternoon.
Yeah, it happened during an air show in Ypsilanti, about 30 miles west of Detroit. The jet went down near an apartment complex, but thankfully no one on the ground was hurt. Both pilots were found and taken to the hospital, both expected to recover. The air show immediately ended after the crash, and all visitors had to leave the airfield. The Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board are both investigating the incident.
We are learning more information about a deadly home explosion near Pittsburgh. Investigators there say 5 people died in that blast. This Ring doorbell camera you're looking at captured the entire explosion. That blast flattened the home it happened at and destroyed 2 other homes that were nearby. About a dozen other homes in that neighborhood also sustaining damage. First responders from 18 different fire departments responding to that explosion. Allegheny County Emergency Services say it could take them years for investigators to figure out what triggered it.
Please understand that this will be a slow and long process as things need to be tested, and there will be lots of forensic testing to be able to prove anything one way or another, and that this investigation may last for months, if not years.
But they will continue to search for answers.
And staying in Pennsylvania, a 3rd victim has now died days after a shooting at a Philadelphia neighborhood basketball court. It happened Friday evening when police say 5 gunmen got out of a car, stormed the basketball court, and fired more than 50 shots. 4 young men were shot and 2 of them were pronounced dead at the scene. Friday night, this all happened, and 5 suspects are still on the loose. The investigators believe the attack was planned.
It does seem like they had a specific group or person they were going at to shoot. If it is one group against another group, that's what we have to be concerned with.
One other victim is still in the hospital, and they are in critical condition.
And in Ohio, 4 people, including 3 teenage women, are in the hospital after a block party shooting in Cincinnati this morning. It happened just south of the main campus of the University of Cincinnati. A 17-year-old girl, 2 19-year-old women, and a 20-year-old man were all shot. All 4 are expected to survive. So far, no arrests have been made. Politics now. 2024 Republican frontrunner and former President Donald Trump facing another possible indictment this week over the alleged efforts to interfere with the 2020 election results in Georgia.
And meanwhile, as President Biden seeks re-election, his son Hunter is facing his own legal troubles. ABC's Aaron Katersky looks at the week ahead.
Donald Trump is leading in the polls against his Republican opponents as he seeks the GOP presidential nomination, but his legal troubles are mounting. The former president facing a possible fourth indictment this week for his alleged attempts to interfere in the 2020 election outcome in Georgia. During a phone call in January of 2021, Trump urged Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to find enough votes for him to win Georgia. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis has said her work is accomplished, and at least 2 witnesses said they've been called to testify early this week before a grand jury. Trump has been unsuccessful in trying to disqualify Willis from prosecuting him, and he has denied all wrongdoing. Gabriel Sterling, a Republican and top Georgia elections official, has repeatedly rebuked the former president's claims of fraud, telling ABC's This Week he thinks Trump's rhetoric, including a recent campaign ad attacking Willis, could lead to violence once again.
We've been saying this over and over again. We counted the ballots 3 times. He lost this state, and he continues to say he didn't lose it, and it's just creating a lot of tension and a lot of chaos.
Meanwhile, President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is facing his own legal challenges. He was set to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax charges last month, and he would have agreed to a pretrial diversion on a separate gun charge, but the deal collapsed. And on Friday, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed David Weiss as special counsel to oversee his years-long investigation into Hunter Biden. His attorney speaking out on CBS's Face the Nation.
I'm confident that if this prosecutor does what has been done for the last 5 years, look at the facts, the evidence, and the law, then the only conclusion can be what the conclusion was on July 26. It's new evidence. There's no new evidence to be found.
Prosecutors saying in court filings the parties are at an impasse in negotiations and the government believes the case will not resolve short of a trial. The judge has given Hunter Biden until Monday to respond. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, Atlanta.
Back here at home, let's go back outside with live cam here tonight. Not a whole lot going around along the San Antonio area, but it is a little breezy out there. Like what we've seen the past several nights after the sun goes down, those temperatures start to drop off. Those winds pick up. So we've seen some wind gusts upwards of about 25 to even 30 miles per hour at times this evening. Here's a look at highs today across the area. The vast majority of us once again getting into the triple digits. 108 out west in Del Rio, as well as Carrizo Springs, Gatula climbing to 109. Right now, we're in the low 90s here in San Antonio. Still more record challenging heat in store over the next several days. It'll be a warm and muggy start around 80, especially tomorrow and into Tuesday, but you can see 104, 103, and then potentially even climbing by a degree or 2 into the back half of the upcoming work week. So we'll talk all about that in more detail coming up, as well as get you a look at the tropics in just a few.
Coming up next, water woes. The San Antonio couple got charged thousands more than usual for their monthly water bill. KSAT investigates the pipe problem. Next.
All right, picture this. You open up your San Antonio water system bill and it's thousands of dollars more than you expect, nearly 25 times more expensive than the month before.
Yikes. That's what happened to one couple who tells KSAT investigates Lee Waldman. Their simple leak is now turned into a nightmare.
This is the suppression system for the sprinklers in the interior in case there's a fire or smoke.
It's such a common issue that can happen anywhere.
Broken pipe, yeah, due to the ground moving. It happens all over San Antonio.
Todd Kopp owns this duplex on the city's northeast side. In December, SAWS notified him there was a leak in this pipe and he had a plumber out to fix things up the same day.
How long did that repair take to make?
Oh, maybe an hour. The dig was longer.
Kopp thought the problem was behind him until this showed up in his mailbox.
We get a bill in the mail for 1 million gallons of water, $15,588. We're about $500 to $600 a month on water usage. That's our typical bill. We've had these about 4 years now.
Looking at the November to December bill, the amount due shot up nearly 25 times from one month to the next.
It's a huge burden on us, and SAWS is profiting from that. You know, not only we have to fix the repair, you know, but they're charging us late fees.
For the past 8 months, Kopp has been asking SAWS for help or guidance on what to do with minimal response back.
So we just keep paying more than our average bill every month and hoping to get some resolved.
Then the other shoe dropped.
It just says final notice, and we don't know, there's no date. We also got a phone call on it as well. Your final notice, shutting the water off.
We took the issue to SAWS and were told via email the circumstances of this are unique, and they're analyzing the charges and reclassifying several months of rate. The representative went on to write, quote, "We are putting a hold on the account to protect it from interruption. When we passed this information along, it was the first cop had heard of it."
It's something you go to sleep with, you wake up with, we're all worried about it, and we want it to be resolved.
We asked SAWS what customers should do if this happens to them. They sent us a link, which we have on KSAT12, that has tips on what you should do if your water bill is high. The representative says they'll work with customers on a case-by-case basis. Cop says he's still waiting to get his $15,000 bill sorted out. For KSAT Investigates, I'm Lee Waldman.
Okay, I went out last night after the show, tried to look up to the sky to see some of the meteor shower.
Right.
I
And?
saw nothing and quickly determined that even with the lights off, it's still too light where I live.
Exactly. Yep, you'd be further
I would have
out.
to go out further, and I did not feel like doing that.
I tried to do the same thing. I will say, though, some of my friends from back home in the Floresville and Lavernia area,
dark out there.
I saw on Facebook this morning that they actually went out and they saw some of those meteors. So I thought that was so cool. Of course, our friend Skywatcher here uploaded another awesome photo to KSAT Connect. You can see it there on the bottom of that photo. Managed to get a single picture of a shooting star last night right before the clouds rolled back in, hoping for better viewing conditions tonight. So if you didn't happen to catch any of those meteors, you just didn't have the chance to go out in the very early morning hours to spot some, the shower does last technically through September 1st, but the peak was last night and very early this morning. That essentially is when the Earth passes through the densest part of the debris field of ice and space rock left behind by a comet. So pretty cool stuff. And of course, thank you, Skywatcher, for uploading that photo for all to see on KSAT Connect. All right, let's talk about the heat. Some more stats for you. Again, today was the 48th triple-digit day here in San Antonio, and we are just going to tack on to that number in the days ahead still with that heat high not completely going away. So here's another look at your Monday. We're going to start around 80 with mostly cloudy skies. Plenty of sunshine, though, by lunchtime, and then into the later portions of the afternoon. Still some blue sky out there, and that forecast high pointed around 104. Winds not as breezy tomorrow compared to what we've seen over the past few days, generally out of the south at about 5 to 10 to 5 to 15 miles per hour. 105 in Pleasanton, 107 that forecast high tomorrow in Cotulla, 102 in Kerrville, 104 out east in Gonzales, 105 in Del Rio. So it is going to be another hot one across south central Texas, and that theme is going to continue. Record challenging heat as well, 103, maybe even a few degrees higher, especially as we get into the Wednesday and Thursday time frame. And once again, that high pressure really strengthens. But what we've seen over the past several days, and we'll continue to see tomorrow, dew points dropping into the afternoon, which helps with the heat index value a little bit, but it still does not help when it comes to the fire danger. Lower afternoon humidity combined with the dry grasses and vegetation in place, and of course those breezy south winds picking up. So we will continue to monitor that over the next several days. And it's not going to be drought denting or drought busting, but we do have that very small chance for a stray shower. Most of us staying dry over the next 48 hours, but tomorrow afternoon and evening, especially across our far eastern counties, sure, a very quick isolated brief passing shower, not completely off the table, but I think the slightly better chance is going to be into the second half of our Tuesday. You can see still most of us staying dry, but we will keep eyes on the radar for maybe a few select lucky folks tapping into a quick splash of rain. And of course, as we were just talking about, it's not going to be drought busting. More than 700 consecutive days some part of south central Texas has been in drought. The last time the entire KSAT12 viewing area was drought-free was early September of 2021. So we are closing in on that 2-year mark. Hopefully, as we gear up for the second half of August, we can find a little bit of a pattern change. All right, I do want to briefly touch on the tropics. Out in the eastern Atlantic now, we have 2 disturbances, 20% chance, which is a low chance for tropical development over the next 7 days or so. No issues for us here in south central Texas from that as of right now, but of course we will continue continue to watch that as we approach the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, which is on September 10th. So we're getting a little bit closer to that. And of course, being that we are approaching that time of year, still triple digits in place across the board this week. So water bottle, very important, especially as the kids head back to school.
Yep, not going anywhere.
Wake me up when it's autumn.
No. You got to experience it with the rest of us. All right, well, it's mid-August, and there's still just one word to sum up the summer box office: Barbenheimer. The early weekend top box office estimates next on the Nightbeat.
The Dracula tale, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, opened in 5th place, sinking its teeth into just $6.5 million. Meg 2, The Trench, fell from 2nd to 4th on ticket sales of $12.7 million. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem moved up to 3rd, taking in $15.8 million.
Our imaginings horrify us.
Oppenheimer returned to 2nd place with $18.8 million, crossing the $600 million mark worldwide.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. There's no stopping Barbie. $33.7 million gave the Greta Gerwig film a 4th straight weekend title and a domestic total of $526 million, number 18 on the all-time domestic chart. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Still nuking the competition. Well, we are less than 2 weeks away from the start of high school football season and the 2nd annual KSAT Pigskin Classic, and this year it is bigger and better.
We're very excited. 2 full days. Plus, Judson alum and UTSA great Sincere McCormick had a big game for the Las Vegas Raiders today. For a preview and more of what's on Instant Replay, here's Larry Ramirez. I'm so excited for him.
I am too. So he is definitely built by UTSA. This young man is very tough. Sincere is one of the best running backs to come through San Antonio, and after 3 stellar seasons with the Roadrunners, he turned pro. Coming up tonight on Instant Replay.
Definitely, I was supposed to be here last year, due to the incident, but, God has a plan for you, and you just got to run with it. Believe the path that he has, and you continue just to walk that road.
Sincere suffered an ACL tear last season during the offseason. He didn't get to play in any games with the Raiders. Today, he changed that with a fantastic preseason performance. Plus, a former KSAT12 sports intern got post-game reaction from Sincere.
I'm ready for the environment. I'm ready for all the lights. I'm ready for everything. I know our teammates are ready for everything. We're just going to go out there and ball.
It's going to be very different. Nothing like I've ever experienced before, and it's going to be fun. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be fun.
The 2nd annual KSAT Pigskin Classic is right around the corner, and both Uvalde and Jefferson are excited to square off inside the Alamo Dome to help kick off high school football and big game coverage. Plus, we caught up with Manu in Springfield and asked him about Victor Wembanyama and who had the best Hall of Fame speech last night, Pop, Tony, or Becky. That's our Instant Replay poll question. All that and more coming up right after the Nightbeat.
So close to football.
It is so close.
You can smell it.
Let's go run through a wall, Larry.
Let's do it right now.
Hit somebody.
Yeah, I won't be doing that. We'll be right back. I'll take pictures, though.